There comes a time in every life when the true test of power is not in action but in restraint. The storms we face do not always roar outside. Sometimes they are stirred by the careless words, attitudes, or energy of others. In such moments, the greatest strength is not to strike back but to remain calm, for calmness is not weakness, it is mastery. It is the quiet confidence of a person who knows their worth, their purpose, and the vision that drives them forward. It is the shield that protects your energy from being hijacked by the chaos of the world around you. You see, the world will throw personalities at you, the impatient, the disrespectful, the angry, the insecure, each a lesson in disguise, each a mirror reflecting the inner work still to be done. When you learn to meet every type of person with the same unshakable peace, you rise above the battlefield of egos and enter the realm of true self-command. You no longer react, you respond. You no longer absorb, you observe. And in that powerful pause between what happens and how you choose to deal with it lies the secret not just to calmness, but to freedom. This is not about avoiding conflict or pretending everything is fine. It is about rising to a level where nothing and no one can disturb the balance of your mind. Because the one who remains calm holds the keys, not just to their emotions, but to influence, clarity, and leadership. And that, my friend, is the real secret behind those who succeed where others stumble. There is a force within every man and woman that, once awakened, becomes the compass of all power, the foundation of every victory, and the pillar of a mind unshaken by storms. That force is inner stillness. It is not given, it is built, not inherited, but earned. And in a world that constantly pulls at your peace, the individual who masters inner stillness becomes untouchable by the chaos that surrounds them. The chaos is not only in the shouting of others, the rush of the clock, the opinions on your name, or the weight of disappointment. It is also in your own mind, the chatter, the fear, the doubt, the invisible war of insecurities and old wounds. The world will tempt you to join in its frenzy. It will invite you to match energy with anger, tension with tension, pressure with panic. But if you do, you surrender your throne. You give away the one thing that keeps your judgment sharp, your vision clear, and your spirit aligned with your highest potential. To master inner stillness is to sit in the middle of a storm and know that the storm is not you. It is to feel the pull of emotion rising within and choose discipline instead of reaction. It is to lead your feelings rather than follow them. When others rush to speak, you remain silent. When others panic, you pause. When others chase noise, you search for meaning. This kind of power cannot be borrowed. It must be built daily through intentional thoughts, repeated choices, and the courage to train the mind rather than obey it. Understand this. Stillness is not the absence of action. It is the presence of control. It is the well-trained soldier standing ready, the deep root of a tree that does not sway in every wind. Stillness allows you to observe without absorbing. It allows you to respond with wisdom rather than react with emotion. And in business, relationships, and self-growth, this quality is what separates the leader from the follower, the builder from the breaker, the visionary from the victim. There will be times when people test your patience, insult your name, doubt your ability, or provoke your character. Let them. They are doing their job. Now do yours. Remain still, remain rooted, remain clear, because the one who can remain calm when provoked holds true command, not over others, but over self. And that is the highest level of mastery one can ever hope to reach. Inner stillness is also the birthplace of intuition. When the mind is noisy, you cannot hear the whispers of truth. But in stillness, you receive answers, ideas, clarity, and calm direction. You can walk into a room of confusion and lead without force. You can turn down a path everyone else fears because your peace is louder than their panic. This power does not come through luck. It comes through discipline, through prayer, through reflection, through the daily practice of silence in a noisy world. Do not wait for the world to become quiet. Make your mind a sanctuary where peace is protected. Do not wait for others to treat you calmly. Be calm regardless of how you are treated, for this is the greatest revenge, the most powerful proof that you are growing, rising, and evolving beyond the reach of petty emotions and temporary disturbances. Your future requires a calmer version of you. Your legacy demands a mind that cannot be distracted by small things. The success you seek is not in shouting louder, rushing faster, or fighting harder. It is in mastering the silence within. because that silence is not empty. It is full of strength, power, and wisdom. The individual who cultivates it becomes magnetic. People are drawn to them. Opportunities unfold for them. They do not force, they attract. They do not chase, they command. And they do not fear, because stillness is louder than fear. In every season of your life, the calm within must become stronger than the chaos without. Whether it's a setback in your career, a storm in your relationships, or a crisis in your confidence, you must return to the center. Not everything needs your reaction. Not every word deserves a response. And not every emotion needs to be followed. The strongest move you can make is to not be moved. So when life comes rushing at you, when the voices rise, when the pressure mounts, breathe. Remember who you are. Return to the stillness. Because in that stillness lies the real secret. You are not controlled by the world. You are governed by the calm you choose to cultivate within. And from that calm you will rise, not shaken but sharpened, not broken but built, not reactive but reborn into the person you were always meant to become. Let the storm rage. Let others lose themselves in it. You, on the other hand, be the mountain. Be the lighthouse. Be the one who mastered the storm, not outside, but inside. For that mastery is the secret, and that secret is yours, if you choose it. There is a turning point in every person's life when they realize that their greatest enemy is not out in the world. It is within. Not the insult, not the chaos, not the person raising their voice, but the invisible hand that pushes you to react, to defend, to lose control. That moment of awareness is your first step toward rising from triggered to tranquil. It is the moment you stop being ruled by what happens around you and begin mastering what happens within you. Every day you will face people who are fighting battles you cannot see. Some will project their anger onto you. Some will misunderstand you. Some will try to provoke a response to make themselves feel powerful. And yet, it is not what they do that defines your strength. It is what you choose to do next. You are never obligated to match the energy of chaos. You are not required to descend to the level of anyone who has lost control of their own emotions. Your power lies in your ability to remain grounded, steady, and calm. The man or woman who is easily triggered has surrendered their power to the outer world. They have placed the keys to their peace in the hands of others. A word can disturb them. A tone can shake them. A look can break them. But the one who walks the higher road learns that nothing outside of them should have that kind of control. They build a fortress within, a mindset that is stable, a spirit that is centered, and a will that cannot be moved by the noise of others. This transformation does not happen by accident. It is not the result of age or experience or time. It is the result of conscious training. You must decide every single day to remain calm even when chaos knocks at your door. When someone tries to argue, you choose peace. When the insult is thrown, you let it pass. When disrespect is shown, you respond with dignity because you understand something deeper. The one who controls your emotions controls your direction. Being triggered is a reflex. Tranquility is a choice. And every time you choose to stay grounded instead of reacting, you are not only showing strength, you are rewiring your mind. You are creating a new identity, one that is not controlled by fear, by ego, or by the need to be right. You are becoming someone who understands that true power is silent, composed, and unshaken. When others lose control, do not follow them. Observe them. Learn from them. Let their chaos be a mirror that reflects just how far you've come and how far you still must go. You are not here to win arguments. You are here to win yourself. You are not here to be right in every moment. You are here to become whole. You are not here to be loudest. You are here to be the light that remains steady even when others flicker. There will be moments when you feel the fire rise in you. The words will be on your tongue. Your pride will be tempted. Your silence will feel like weakness. But it is in these moments that you must pause. You must breathe. You must remember that your future is built in moments of self-control, that one reaction could destroy a relationship, a reputation, or a dream, and no moment of anger is worth sacrificing the peace you've worked so hard to build. Staying grounded is not passive. It is active strength. It is not running from confrontation. It is choosing not to be conquered by it. It is knowing that you can speak but choosing silence, that you can react but choosing wisdom, that you can fight but choosing freedom from ego. To live this way is not to be walked over. It is to walk taller. It is to hold your ground in such a way that others feel your calm as a force, not as a void. Your calm becomes the loudest voice in the room. Your peace becomes the most powerful presence in the chaos. And that presence can influence more people than anger ever will. Make no mistake, people will test you, life will test you. But each test is an opportunity to level up. Each challenge to your peace is a chance to prove that you have outgrown the need to be triggered by things that once pulled you apart. You rise not by escaping the world, but by elevating your response to it. So how do you stay grounded? You anchor yourself in purpose. You remind yourself who you are and what you're building. You choose to protect your energy like it's gold, because it is. You meditate, reflect, breathe, and condition your mind to pause before acting. You walk into each day with an inner commitment. No matter what comes, I will not lose control of me. You understand that the calmer you become, the clearer you think. The clearer you think, the better you decide. And the better you decide, the greater your life becomes. Calm is not a luxury, it is a weapon, a tool, a foundation. Those who master it are the ones who lead when others follow, rise when others fall, and build legacies that cannot be shaken by momentary emotion. You were not made to be tossed around by every rude word or reckless opinion. You were made to move through this life with grace, purpose, and the kind of poise that transforms rooms. The path from triggered to tranquil is not easy, but it is worth it. And the reward is not just peace, it is power. So let the world shout. Let others lose themselves in emotion. You remain centered, remain grounded, and most importantly, remain in control, not of others, but of yourself. That is where your transformation begins, and that is where your greatness is born. There was a time when strength was measured in muscle and force, when loud voices and clenched fists claimed power. But in today's world, the greatest strength no longer comes from the body. It comes from the mind. And among all its abilities, there is one that towers above the rest. It is the ability to control your emotions. Emotional control is the new superpower, and the one who possesses it becomes untouchable, unshakable, and unstoppable. Most people drift through life at the mercy of their feelings. A word spoken in anger can ruin their entire day. A setback in their plans can steal their peace. A look, a tone, a delay, all enough to trigger chaos in their minds. They react without thinking, speak without pausing, and act without clarity. Their emotions are in the driver's seat, and as a result, their lives are out of control. But the rare individual, the one who rises above, is the one who makes a different choice. The choice to respond, not react. Reacting is easy. It is immediate. It is emotional. But it is also dangerous, because in reaction there is no strategy, only instinct. And instinct, left untrained, leads to regret. How many relationships have been broken by a single harsh word? How many opportunities lost because of a moment of anger? How many dreams delayed because someone couldn't hold their tongue or their temper? The cost of uncontrolled emotion is far too high. And yet the reward of mastering it is even greater. When you learn to respond instead of react, you step into a higher version of yourself. You begin to think clearly, even when others are chaotic. You listen while others speak out of turn. You choose your actions with precision instead of impulse. And in that space between what happens and how you respond, you create power. That space becomes your throne. That pause becomes your protection. That discipline becomes your distinction. It is in that space where leaders are made, where greatness is born. Because emotional control is not about suppression, it's about direction. It's about acknowledging what you feel, but not letting those feelings take over. It's about sitting with the storm and still choosing your next move with wisdom. The one who controls their emotions does not ignore them. They master them. They turn frustration into fuel. They convert pain into purpose. They transform anger into clarity. In business, emotional control builds trust. People follow the one who remains calm under pressure, who doesn't lash out, who keeps their composure when things fall apart. In relationships, emotional control creates safety. It allows you to communicate with maturity, to resolve conflict with grace, and to listen with intention. And in your personal growth, emotional control is the doorway to self-mastery. Because until you learn to govern what's happening inside you, the world will always be able to control you. You must train for this power like an athlete trains for strength. You must anticipate the situations that test you. You must rehearse the pause, the breath, the moment of reflection before you speak or act. Every time you feel emotion rising, pause. Ask yourself, is this how I want to show up? Will this serve my future? Is this reaction worth the consequence? In that moment, choose your values over your feelings. Choose your mission over your mood. Choose your future over your frustration. And when you fail, because there will be moments when emotion gets the best of you, do not lose heart. That too is part of the training. Reflect, learn, adjust. Because every time you catch yourself, every time you turn a reaction into a response, you build your superpower stronger. You become less ruled by the world and more rooted in your purpose. Understand this. People will try to pull you into their storms. Some will test your patience. Some will misunderstand your calm for weakness. Some will even provoke you on purpose, hoping to steal your peace. But your strength is in not allowing them to succeed. You do not have to attend every argument. You do not have to respond to every opinion. You do not have to let someone else's emotions dictate your day. Your peace is yours to protect. There is a power that grows in you when you walk away from what doesn't serve you, when you rise above the temptation to prove yourself in every conversation, when you realize that your silence can speak louder than your defense, that your composure can command more respect than your volume, that your restraint can be more impactful than your reaction. In a world that glorifies outrage, drama, and emotional explosions, choose to be different. Choose to be calm. Choose to be clear. Choose to be in control. Because when you do, you don't just gain the respect of others. You gain the respect of yourself. And self-respect is the foundation upon which confidence, purpose, and vision are built. Let others live at the mercy of their emotions. Let them run in circles of reaction, regret, and chaos. You, on the other hand, rise. You build. You lead. You think. Because you've unlocked a secret that most will never understand, the real power isn't in how loudly you can speak, but in how calmly you can respond. The strongest person in the room isn't the one who talks the most. It's the one who listens, observes, and chooses their response with mastery. That is the new superpower. That is the new strength. That is the edge in every field, in every relationship, and in every challenge life will place before you. Emotional control isn't just a skill. It is the foundation of a life well lived. And when you own it, truly own it, nothing and no one can take that peace from you. There is a wisdom greater than force, a strength deeper than rage, and a victory more powerful than any shouted word. It is the power of peace over provocation, the ability to stand firm in the face of insult, to remain calm when challenged, and to walk away from a war that doesn't deserve your spirit. This is not cowardice. This is not silence born from fear. It is the mark of a mind that has matured beyond the need to be seen, heard, or defended in every situation. It is the quiet triumph of a soul that chooses peace, not because it cannot fight, but because it does not have to. There will always be those who live on provocation. They will try to rattle your peace, press your buttons, and draw you into the fire they have failed to put out within themselves. They are loud not because they are right, but because they are empty. They are sharp not because they are strong, but because they are hurting. And if you are not rooted in something greater, you will find yourself pulled into a game that has no winner. Peace is not passive. It is not the absence of response. It is the presence of purpose. It is knowing when to speak and when to walk away. It is having the clarity to choose your battles and the wisdom to know which ones matter. Not everything requires your energy. Not every insult needs a reply. Not every challenge deserves your presence. The one who knows this lives lighter, climbs higher, and moves faster because they are not weighed down by the noise that surrounds the undisciplined mind. When someone provokes you, you are being tested, not on your ability to argue, but on your ability to control your space. You are being asked a simple question: do you value your peace more than your pride? The undisciplined man reacts. He raises his voice. He fights to be right. He seeks to win the moment and loses his direction in the process. But the disciplined one understands that not every action needs a reaction. Sometimes silence is the sharpest response. Sometimes walking away is the loudest victory. You do not win by proving a point. You win by protecting your focus. You do not rise by dragging others down. You rise by rising above. This is the path of the wise. The warrior who never draws his sword unless it is truly needed becomes a force to be reckoned with. His peace becomes his armor. His calm becomes his command. He does not flinch in the face of pressure because he knows who he is and what he stands for. And in that knowing, he wins battles others do not even see. Think of the moments in your life when someone tried to provoke you. Perhaps they questioned your ability, insulted your name, pushed your patience to its limit, and maybe you responded. Maybe you gave them the reaction they were hoping for. And when it was over, did you feel stronger or did you feel drained? Did you win anything lasting? Or did you just lose a piece of yourself for the sake of temporary pride? Now imagine if you had remained still, if you had smiled, if you had said nothing and continued your mission, you would have left the battlefield untouched, unharmed, and undefeated. Because true power is quiet. It does not need to explain. It does not need to retaliate. It does not need to be loud. It simply is. And when others realize they cannot pull you down, they will eventually be forced to look up. Choosing peace does not mean letting others disrespect you. It means deciding how you will respond when they do. It means understanding that your energy is currency, and not everyone deserves to spend it. It means knowing that some fights are not about truth. They are about ego. And ego is never satisfied. You feed it once, and it will return hungry again. But when you deny it your attention, it withers and fades. You were not born to react to everything that moves around you. You were born to lead your life with intention, direction, and discipline. Let others shout. Let them gossip. Let them provoke. You stay focused. You stay grounded. Because the one who keeps walking toward their purpose while others waste time trying to derail them is the one who finishes the race. There is a strength in restraint that few ever master, but those who do become legends. They are remembered not for how loudly they spoke, but for how powerfully they lived. They knew when to roar and when to whisper. They knew when to fight and when to let fools argue among themselves. Their peace was not just a feeling, it was a strategy, a weapon, a decision. So the next time you are tested, pause. Ask yourself, what would peace do? What would the version of me that leads, builds, and inspires do in this moment? And then do it. Choose peace. Walk away if you must. Say nothing if it's best. Smile if you can. Not because you're weak, but because you are too focused, too determined, and too powerful to be dragged down by things beneath your purpose. This is how you win the battle without saying a word. This is how you rise without stepping on anyone. This is how you dominate by never being disturbed by small things. And this, above all, is how you become the master of your world by first becoming the master of your peace. The world does not need more loud leaders. It does not need more people who speak first and think later. It does not need more tempers disguised as strength or egos wrapped in confidence. What the world needs, what your life, your business, your relationships need, is the calm leader, the one who walks into the room and doesn't have to prove anything because their presence speaks for itself, the one who does not dominate with noise, but with grace, clarity, and emotional maturity. It is easy to win arguments. It is far harder to win hearts. And in the end, it is not the sharpest voice that moves people. It is the steadiest mind. Emotional maturity, not emotional intensity, is the mark of the true leader. Because leadership is not about being in control of others. It is about being in control of yourself. It is about mastering your reactions so that you can lead with reason, not rage, with principle, not pride. Every day you are given a choice to lead from a place of calm wisdom or to be pulled into the chaos of reaction. The calm leader does not lead by accident. They are forged in the fire of self-discipline. They have walked through conflict, through failure, through personal storms, and have learned to build stillness within. They do not fear disagreement. They do not run from challenge, But they do not waste time proving themselves in every argument either, because they understand that the highest form of power is restraint. Emotional maturity is not the absence of emotion. It is the ability to guide it. It means you still feel disappointment, but you do not let it become bitterness. You feel anger, but you don't let it explode into destruction. You feel hurt, but you don't let it control your choices. You process, you reflect, and then you act from a place of strength, not survival. This kind of maturity cannot be faked. It is revealed in the difficult moments, in the crisis, in the conversation that doesn't go your way, in the criticism that hits close to home. When others would raise their voices, you lower yours. When others defend with fury, you respond with facts. When others try to dominate, you stay grounded, because you know who you are. You are not moved by petty opinions. You are not triggered by every disagreement. You do not need to win every moment. You are playing a longer game. And that patience, that presence, that is leadership. Think of the people who have truly influenced your life. Not the ones who yelled the loudest, but the ones who listened. Not the ones who always had to be right, but the ones who made you feel seen. Not the ones who controlled with force, but the ones who inspired with stability. That is the power of calm leadership. It opens doors that anger can't. It builds bridges that ego burns. It creates loyalty, not fear, respect, not resentment. In every space, your workplace, your family, your community, emotional maturity is what sets you apart. When you can hold your ground without becoming aggressive, when you can navigate conflict without personalizing it, when you can remain level-headed when others lose themselves, that is when people begin to look to you. Not because you say you're the leader, but because you show them again and again in how you show up, in how you treat others, in how you handle pressure. Believe that reacting strongly proves strength, but real strength is shown when you could react and choose not to, when you could retaliate and choose to build instead, when you could shout and choose to speak with intention. That is the sign of someone who is no longer ruled by emotion, but guided by purpose. And purpose is what separates the calm leader from the reactive one. The calm leader is not just avoiding conflict. They are choosing peace because they are committed to something greater than their pride. They understand that leadership is about service, not superiority, about influence, not intimidation, about leaving people better, not broken. Now, make no mistake, being calm does not mean being passive. It does not mean you never confront, never challenge, never correct. It means when you do it with discipline, with clarity, with care. You confront without crushing. You challenge without humiliating. You correct without demeaning. And that approach doesn't just win arguments, it changes lives. Because people don't remember how you won the debate. They remember how you made them feel. They remember if they felt respected, even in disagreement. They remember if they were heard, even when you stood your ground. They remember the calm in your eyes when everything else was spinning. And that memory builds loyalty. It builds influence. It builds legacy. The world will continue to reward those who react quickly, speak loudly, and demand attention. But in the long run, the calm leader will outlast them all, because emotional maturity never fades. It deepens. It strengthens with time. It attracts people not through performance, but through authenticity. And authenticity cannot be faked. So in your life, cultivate this maturity. Practice the pause. Choose the higher response. Let others argue while you build. Let others compete while you create. Let others try to win the room while you win the mission. Because that is what calm leaders do. They know that some arguments are a distraction from destiny, that some battles are not worth the bruises, that peace is not weakness. It is the path to power. Lead with your character, not your ego. Lead with your vision, not your emotion. And in doing so, you will not just stand out, you will rise above. You will be the one others look to when the room is full of noise. You will be the one who leads, not because you said so, but because you showed so. And that kind of leadership is rare. That kind of leadership is remembered. That kind of leadership is yours to claim. So choose calm, not because it's easy, but because it's powerful. Be the one who leads with poise when others lose control. Let your maturity speak louder than your emotions. Remember, storms may rage around you, but your strength is proven in your stillness. You don't need to win every argument. You only need to master yourself. In that mastery lies your influence. In that peace lies your power. Lead with clarity, lead with grace, and the world will follow not your words, but your wisdom. Let calm be your crown and emotional maturity your legacy. That is the mark of true leadership.